You probably don't need this light, unless you do. Hey, my name's Jake and I create content here to help solo creators on the go. Lighting may not be one of the most fun topics, it's definitely not one of the most watched topics on YouTube, but it is probably the most important next to good audio when it comes to video, because lighting basically dictates everything about how your video looks. Regardless of what camera or lens you're using, good lighting will make or break your video in how it looks and how you can communicate with your audience. You can get away with a much cheaper camera and a much cheaper lens if you have good lighting. Today we're talking about the Godox LD75R, a really good, high quality light with a lot of options, but it is not a cheap option and it is not a budget option, definitely not for beginners. It's more for somebody who's looking into getting into a little bit better, a little bit higher end productions and give themselves lots of options while using a single light panel like this. And in the interest of full disclosure, Godox did send me this light for free, but they're not paying for this review. They don't get input into this video and they don't get to see this video before it's released. So these opinions are my own after using this light for actually quite a few different videos over the last couple months. As I said, this light isn't cheap at $799, but sometimes you can find it on sale for $700, but it does give you a lot of options for that. It comes in this really nice carrying case that's well padded and well protected for when you're taking it out. The light itself is mostly metal and built really well. It's heavy. This is not a lightweight light, so it does weigh a lot, but it can also be AC or V-mount powered. Now this can be V-mount powered by 14.8 volt V-mounts, whereas the larger brother, the 150, can only be powered by higher voltage 22 or 24 point something volt V-mount batteries. And it comes with this barn door attachment, which is a little different on a light panel, but it is useful for controlling where you want the light and where you don't want the light. It also comes with this honeycomb grid, which is really small and lightweight, but it snaps into the barn doors, which is a little different, but still very effective. And in case you didn't know, honeycomb grid is really useful for allowing the diffusion or non-diffused light to still go the way it's going. Like you have really diffused light, but you don't want it to go everywhere. Then you use honeycomb grid to control where that diffused light goes without turning it into more of a spotlight, harsh light again. Now, this is a 75 watt RGB panel and it does put out a lot of light in all of the different color modes, which is pretty cool. The nice thing is the back is really easily organized. It's pretty intuitive on how you want to get around when you want to control the light. And actually one of my favorite things was that you can program presets by getting the light set to what you want, and then you push and hold one of the 4 buttons on the back. So if you want, 5600 Kelvin light for CCT mode most of the time at 100%, then you set that up, you push and hold one of the buttons on the back about a few seconds, and then it will say saved, and then boom, that is ready to go. And you have a preset there. Now, if you use blue as a fill light or blue wash for a lot of things, then you can set it up to where you go into RGB mode, you set the blue, and then push and hold again, and then you've got a saved preset for a blue wash, which is really handy to be able to get around and have 4 different presets for common things that you use a lot. This light does use fans to cool it down, and you can switch the fans off, but I didn't really see the need to. Right now, it's been running right next to me for quite a while, and if you put your head up right next to it, you can hear the fans. But even in a case like this, the fans are not going to be louder than any sort of ambient room noise you might have in a room from, HVAC systems running or pretty much anything like that. So the fans work really well and they're extremely quiet, so I don't see the need to actually have to switch them off. But you do have the option if you need to. And as far as the yoke goes, it does feel nice, it works well. You have a knob on one side to be able to tighten or loosen it up, and it really, because of the way it's set up and the way it's built, it works really well. You don't have to over tighten like some cheaper yokes do. And this is one thing that I did have a little trouble with this light, is that because of the way the barn doors are designed, or the yoke is designed, when you use the barn doors or when you use a larger diffused box, it makes it difficult to point it down, which is a little bit of a bummer because a lot of times you will be pointing this down if you're going to use it as a key light, which I have a lot, and it works really well as a key light with the softbox that you can buy as an additional upgrade from Godox. At an additional cost, you can also buy a softbox that works really well. It folds up really nice and compact, so it'll fit in the case with the light, but it comes with this system that basically just snaps over the light, really easy to set up and really easy to put together. And then the back, there are 2 straps that you click together so that it will stay put on the light itself, and it's really rigid and really secure once it's on. And it comes with white diffusion fabric as well as another grid that's useful, again, for controlling where you want the diffused light to go if you don't want your diffused light to spill everywhere in a scene. This light does have a really high CRI of 96 and a TLCI of 97, so the quality of light output is extremely high quality and very good. And not only do you get the full RGB spectrum, which gives you basically unlimited types of colors, you also get Rosco gels and Lee filters, so they will match precisely the gels or the filters that you use from Rosco or Lee. But it also offers tone control in CCT mode, which means you can set it at 5600, but if you need to go a little bit to the green side or a little bit to the magenta side to adjust the tone of the light, but stay in the 5600 Kelvin range, you can do that. That's very handy for certain types of skin tones and just certain types of locations. If there's, a certain type of coloring or cast or hue that you need to get out of the light. When it comes to controlling this light, there's actually a lot of options. You can use DMX control directly out of the light, which is fantastic if you're using DMX setups, especially if, I don't know if DJs would want to use this, but if you have a DJ system and you want to add this light, you could add it like a regular light and set it up on your DMX system. But another way is if you buy the remote control. I don't believe this comes with it, but if you buy this, you can control the light remotely from the remote control. It'll give you a lot of different options, including all the effects, CCT mode and HSI or RGB mode. And then there's a lot of presets built into the light as well, which is pretty handy. You can dim, turn the light on and off. Really nice. But if you don't feel like buying a remote, have no fear, because you can use the Godox app, which is totally free and something that works really, really well. So when it comes to Godox lights, basically you can see I've got a lot here. All of the lights really are easy. You turn the Wi-Fi on, you go to add, or you don't have to turn. You go into the wireless settings, make sure the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi is turned on, and then when you go to add a fixture, they automatically show up really fast and easy. You can tap on the fixture and then go, you have RGB W mode, HSI mode, you can use CCT mode, the gel filter mode, or the effects mode. Now for the effects, there's a lot of different effects. The RGB cycle is the one that's going now. You can use a camera flash, a laser, which I guess is a DJ thing. There's also lightning, so if you're needing special effects, or broken bulbs, which flicker on and off a little bit like that, and you can also adjust the speed of how much you want them to flicker. You can pretend like you're watching television, if you wanted to pretend like you're watching television. There's also a candle mode, a fire mode, fireworks too, because who doesn't love a good fireworks show? Police car, fire truck, ambulance. And then you can have it go to the music, which basically there's a microphone built into the camera, And then you can have it go to the music, which basically there's a microphone built into the light and it responds to the amplitude of the sounds around it. So if I was to play some loud music, or right now it's just responding off my voice, then the light responds to the sounds that it hears and just kind of randomly picks stuff. Pretty cool. I wouldn't use it very much, but you definitely could if you wanted to. It also has an SOS mode, so I guess if you're hiking in the wilderness like I do a lot and you're backpacking with this particular light, you could signal an airplane, a helicopter, or maybe even the space station, considering how bright this light is, that you're in trouble. And then it also has a strong light mode, which seems like it's the RGB cycle, but just slightly different. So then if you go into HSI mode or RGB mode, basically you can just tap and select whatever color you want, and have it set so that's the color you're going to use. It's pretty easy. You can also dim, turn it up. Pretty much everything about this light is really fast and really intuitive, really easy to get around, which I like. And the app is the same way. And again, like I said earlier, gel filters, easy to just select through. If you want Lee gels, Rosco gels, or you can even set your own custom gels using the color picker here, which is handy. In CCT mode, you can go anywhere from 2500 Kelvin all the way up to 8500 Kelvin. So you can go from very, very warm to very cold light. Useful, again, for different things. But RGBW panels are really fun to just basically play with a lot of different color washes. The good news is there are a lot of options out there and many of them are really affordable. So I put together a playlist right here of some other lights that I've used and reviewed. You can click or tap there. I'll see you in one of those videos. As always, if you have questions, ask me in the comments below or join my live stream Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will see you again soon in the next video. Cheers.